Sports.
We are Blackmore. We are Wisconsin.
Fastball driven right center. This is back, and it is out of here. A home run, a grand slam for Corey Hart. A well-deserved curtain call for Corey Hart after batting in his first 3 at-bats last night. Corey Hart comes through with a grand slam in the bottom of the 8th to propel the Brewers to a win in Game 1 over the Phillies. Tonight, it's Game 2 on a gorgeous Friday night. Every game in this season series has come down to the home team's final at-bat, and the Brewers getting a little payback in last night's win. Tonight, a couple of righties on the hill. It's Vance Worley and Giovanni Gallardo, who has pitched very well lately for the Brew Crew, winning his last 3 starts. Dave and Craig back on board if you're here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. 4 home runs clubbed by the Brewers in last night's game. They continue to add to their National League total, but more importantly, when they hit the home runs, they win ball games.
Yeah, and that's why they love playing here at Miller Park, because they hit a lot of home runs here. That's not as much as they do on the road, but here at Miller Park, they crush.
Ryan Braun hit 2 last night. Aramis Ramirez hit 1, and of course Corey Hart's grand slam as well. So Milwaukee at the top of the National League with 141 home runs, looking to add to that total with the roof and panels wide open tonight. And just when you thought he had fallen, the star rises. Ryan Braun broke out of this season's worst slump with a couple of home runs yesterday. Bean Rock tell you why you may see more of that tonight.
Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Miller Lite, because when friends come together, it's not just a good time, it's Miller time. by Toyota. When you choose Toyota, you get a lot for less. Toyota. And by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T. Rethink possible. Beautiful night for baseball in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Ryan Braun last night, 2 hits, 2 home runs against Cliff Lee. In his previous 10 was hitting just 143, had no home runs. Matter of fact, got to go all the way back to August 1st until his big night last night. Hi, everybody. Alongside Bill Schroeder, I'm Brian Anderson. Great to have you with us on Brewers Baseball tonight on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Ryan Braun is the kind of player that even his slumps are newsworthy, Rock. And last night he showed why he is one of the premier sluggers in all of baseball. Very impressive performance.
Yeah, even when you play at the level of a Ryan Braun, sometimes things can snowball on you, and as a result, he really had a rough time for a while. But, you know, just one day off, he kind of changed his routine a little bit. All hitters are really got like that routine. They like to go do the same thing every day. But with Ryan Braun taking early batting practice, worked on a couple of things, and showed you why he's one of the best players in all of baseball. A couple of home runs, both to the opposite field, and that's what you have to do to break out of a slump. Ryan Braun changed it up, and it certainly worked.
How good has he been? Look at his numbers from last season, an MVP season, and if you take it through 109 games, obviously a little bit better batting average, but the power numbers are there. He has more homers, more runs batted in, on base percentage, slugging percentage, all there. You're talking about an OPS that is always pushing 1,000, and Ryan Braun, his team's not in contention, but he's putting together some MVP numbers once again this year. Giovanni Gallardo is up tonight. Gallardo has won his last 3. He's got 11 wins on the board. He'll match up against the Philadelphia Phillies. And Vance Worley, it's game 2 of this 4-game series, and it's coming up next on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Plenty to cheer about last night. Corey Hart with his heroics in the bottom of the 8th inning. His second career Grand Slam home run. And that sets the stage for Game 2 tonight. The Brewers and the Philadelphia Phillies. Giovanni Gallardo on the mound tonight for the Brew Crew. The Phillies managed by Charlie Manuel, the all-time winningest skipper in Philadelphia Phillies franchise history. His Piggly Wiggly batting order today. It's Jimmy Rollins, Juan Pierre, Chase Utley at the top. The middle of the order is Ryan Howard, Dominic Brown, and Lance Nix. Kevin Franson, the third baseman. Brian Schneider will catch tonight, and Vance Worley on the mound. We'll see changes down at the bottom of that order. And Giovanni Gallardo going after his 12th win of the season. He is among league leaders in quality starts. As a matter of fact, a quality start tonight. And Giovanni Gallardo will lead the National League.
Yeah, and he's been very good. He's won his last 3 starts and hasn't given up too much in that stretch. 5 runs is all in his last 21 2/3 innings.
And his first pitch is a strike, and away we go from Miller Park on a gorgeous Friday night for baseball. I mean, not a cloud in the sky. Temperature in the low 70s. Will be dropping into the high 60s before we're done here tonight. Roof is open. Plenty of sunshine today in Milwaukee. And the series continues. The homestand continues. It'll be a 7-game homestand total. Phillies leave Sunday after the game, and then the Cubs come in for a series beginning Monday. Rollins takes strike 2. 2-2 the count on the former MVP. He's hitting .246 this year. 14 home runs and 43 driven in. Did have a hit last night. He was 1 for 5. And he takes ball 3.
Well, Giovanni's had very good success against the Phillies in limited starts. He's 2-0 with an earned run average under 2 in 2 career starts against Philadelphia. He's been very good here at home this year.
Soft liner over to Corey Hart. And there is out number 1. That's how the night begins for Gallardo. The Menards Brewers defense with Braun, Morgan, and Aoki in the outfield. Around the horn, it's Ramirez, Segura, Weeks, and Hart. And Martin Maldonado does the catching tonight. He and Giovanni Gallardo have been a pretty good tandem lately. Gallardo's won 3 in a row. The 4-man umpiring crew with Todd Tishner calling the balls and strikes. There's the crew chief, Brian Gorman. Juan Pierre with 1 away. A .308 batting average coming into play tonight, and over 300 at bats for the Phillies. Was 2 for 5 last night. Phillies got their hits, but they stranded a ton of base runners last night. Philadelphia left 13 men on base. Scored 4 runs on 12 hits. The Brewers won the game 7-4. Little flare. Braun is over, lays out, and makes the catch. Ryan Braun brings them to their feet again. Perfectly played, and using his great speed to run that one down. What a play.
Yeah, good defensive positioning by Milwaukee, having Ryan Braun shallow and over toward the line. Well, not too many do a better job of covering the line than Ryan Braun out in left field. You can see where he started. Brewers had him positioned perfectly, and Ryan Braun with a nice catch as he lands with the glove first. And that's why he's able to keep the ball in that glove. You hit with the elbow first, it might come out. Our Pizza Hut delivery of the game, and a quick one here tonight.
Now Ryan Braun got a mouthful of cinder as well on that dive. Well done. You know, if that gets by him, if somehow he doesn't make the catch and it goes to the wall with Pierre's speed, there's a chance he could go all the way around.
Yeah, no doubt.
High risk, high reward, but Braun makes a beautiful catch for the second out. Chase Utley takes a strike. Utley missed most of the first half, had a knee injury. He's come back and hit for a .236 average. He does have 8 home runs. He's hit for a lot of power, although his batting average is low. There's strike 2 on Utley.
He's still trying to get back to form. He missed the entire first half, and he's trying to find some rhythm up there at the plate, some consistency, which everybody knows he has when he stays healthy.
Well, the Phillies swept the Brewers in a 3-game series last month. They were all comeback wins. All 3 games ended in 7-6 final scores. Brewers winning last night 7-4, and all 4 games so far the season series has been decided in the final at bat, including last night with Corey Hart's grand slam home run. Brewers were down 4-3. Corey Hart down 2 strikes with 2 outs. Got a fastball he could handle, and he drove it out of here to right center.
All 4 home runs for the Brewers up the middle or to the opposite field.
Utley draws the walk.
The only home run last night from Milwaukee that wasn't to right field was Aramis Ramirez. He hit one to center. So good approach by the Brewers hitters in last night's ball game.
4 home runs total for the Brewers. Braun hit 2 and still leads the National League with 31 home runs for the season. Speaking of home run hitters, here is Ryan Howard. Don't be fooled by the stat line. A .230 average, 7 homers, 19 RBIs. He hasn't played much this year. Has just 113 at bats. An Achilles injury that occurred last season on the final play of the season for the Phillies, as the Cardinals beat the Phillies in the division series. Howard was the final out against Chris Carpenter, and he blew his Achilles on his way to first base.
Adding insult to injury for Philadelphia. Rough way to end the year.
It's been a long rehab for Ryan Howard. He spent the entire offseason after the surgery recovering from that injury, trying to get himself in a position where he could play again. And it wasn't until at the end of the first half that he was able to return. Swing and a miss, 1-2 on Ryan Howard. Tonight, Gallardo hopes to keep a winning streak alive. He's pitched to a decision in his last 7 starts and is 5-2 in that stretch. He's won 3 in a row. Beat the Astros, the Reds, and then the Astros again in Houston. In all 3 of those outings, Rock, he has gone at least 7 innings. And he's only given up 5 earned runs over his last 3 starts in 21 2/3.
Yeah, balks are down, strikeouts are up for Yo, and the other thing he's been doing a pretty good job of is getting outs early in counts.
There's a strikeout. Gallardo punches out Ryan Howard. Excellent defense in the first. Ryan Braun did it with his bat last night. Does it with his glove here tonight. Homer game last night, both off Cliff Lee, and snapping a long slump. Very undrawn-like numbers until last night. Ron Renneke has him back in the order tonight, and why wouldn't he? With the Browns available once again after a day off Sunday. Piggly Wiggly batting order looks like this tonight for Renneke. Aoki, Weeks, and Braun at the top. Ramirez, Hart, and Maldonado in the middle. Nyjer Morgan hits 7th tonight with Gene Segura, the rookie shortstop, and then Giovanni Gallardo.
Now Vance Worley making his 21st start of the year. He spent some time on the disabled list. Really a control pitcher that does not give up too many home runs. He's got a .397 earned run average and has given up only 11 long balls. That's important because that's what the Brewers like to do, hit home runs.
Worley facing Nori Aoki to start it, and there's strike one. Aoki comes in with a batting average of .284, 6 home runs, 29 RBIs. Took the collar last night. He was 0 for 4. Aoki's been one of the top rookie hitters in the National League this year. It's tough to think of him as a rookie, though, after a brilliant career in Japan prior to his arrival to the Brewers. And he's the first ever position player from Japan to play for the Brewers. The Brewers have had a few pitchers, Hideo Nomo, Takashi Saito, but the first position player to don the blue and gold.
And he's done a nice job at the top of the order. He's taking the pressure off of Ron Renick and trying to find a consistent leadoff hitter. Ricky Weeks demoted in the batting order. Gomez not able to get that job done, but Aoki against righties and lefties, a .350 on base percentage, or very close to it. That's pretty good.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Aoki. In the air to shallow center. And that'll be the former Brewer, Lance Nix, for the first out. That's how Worley's night begins. Check the defense for the Phillies, brought to you by Menards. Juan Pierre, Lance Nix, Dominic Brown in the outfield. Franzen, Rollins, Utley, and Howard. Same 8-7 position players. The only difference, the catcher, Brian Schneider. And, of course, the pitcher, Vance Worley. Schneider's first start of this series. Phillies are without their best hitter, their all-star catcher, Carlos Ruiz. That's a big loss for Philadelphia. Ricky Weeks takes a strike.
Injury certainly a part of the problems that the Phillies have had, particularly on the with respect to the position players. Placido Polanco, Utley, Howard are on the disabled list. Now Ruiz. That's a lot of offense to be without for a long time.
Ruiz has a foot injury. Went on the disabled list on the 4th of August. He's going to be down a couple of weeks. Phillies are expecting Placido Polanco back possibly as early as Monday. He's been nursing a back injury. And of course, Howard and Utley missed most of the first half. Ryan Howard returned on the 6th of July. Chase Utley on the 27th of June. 2 big bats out of the Phillies batting order, and you can understand why the Phillies are having the kind of season they are, despite their great pitching.
Yeah, dug themselves a big hole early on. And Vance really not a guy that gets a lot of talk in Philadelphia, but he's been pretty consistent this year. But his road numbers are very good this year. Much better than at home.
Well, Worley has a 2.59 ERA away from Citizens Bank Park. That compares to a home earned run average of over 5. Vance Worley is currently pitching with loose bodies in his elbow, Rock. He has bone chips and is going to require surgery at the end of the year.
And you can pitch with those things. A lot of pitchers are going to have bone chips. You know, players that play any amount of time are going to have chips floating around in knees, elbows. But when they get lodged in the wrong spot, they can be very painful, and you're not going to be able to play. So he's going to get rid of them.
Worley goes as long as he can, although he has pitched less than 6 innings in 3 of his last 4 starts. And his fastball nowhere near where it was last year. As Weeks pops this one up a mile high, foul territory. Franzen makes a catch for the second out. 2 pop-ups. Now Ryan Braun, he took early batting practice yesterday and had great results. We asked him about that before the game.
always a big believer in my routine. You know, I've talked many times about how in this game you have very little control over results. You have all the control in the world over the process and putting yourself in the best possible position to be successful. So I take a lot of pride in that. And every day it's a little bit different. Yesterday I decided I want to take some early batting practice, change it up a little bit, work on my swing, and we had some results in the game. So hopefully it's the start of something good for me.
And it's tough to do that sometimes. You know, you get a day off. That last game in Colorado, we talked about it on the Open. I mean, even when you play at the level of a guy like Ryan Braun, you know, things kind of snowball on you. You're trying so hard, and you know, Ron Ranicky gave him a day just to sit back and clear his head a little bit. I think that helped him as much, if not more, than that early batting practice session. But certainly the results were there for him last night. And what you like the most about what Ryan did last night, both home runs coming to right field.
One of them hit the top of the wall and bounced out. The other one was up in the Toyota territory, both off Cliff Lee. And as important, Ryan Braun's at bat in the bottom of the 8th inning. You know, the Phillies were trying to see if he'd chase. He didn't. They walked him. And at the time, he was the go-ahead run that was put on. Ramirez reached base, and it set the stage for Corey Hart. The home runs get a lot of headlines, but sometimes the walks and sometimes just the smart hitting pays off as well as you continue to turn the lineup over.
Well, it wasn't the case last night, but sometimes a walk will get you into a position to have a nice hitting streak. That means you're seeing the baseball better. And Ryan Braun certainly seeing the ball well last night. You look at the point of contact. That was the first home run. Now, not many guys are going to hit that ball out of the ballpark. I mean, right down the middle, but it was knee high. And that pitch right there, really, it doesn't look like it on the left, but that pitch was middle in. Ryan pulling the hands in, still strong enough to knock it out of the ballpark to the opposite field. And that's just how good he is. Most guys are happy just hitting that ball to right. And Ryan hits it out for a homer.
Smokes that one on the ground. Nice play by Worley, and a 1-2-3 inning for the Philadelphia Hurler. All its glory here tonight. Roof is open. Clear skies up above. The Brewers coming off a win last night. And now, if you start to look at the numbers a little closer, the Brewers 12 games over 500 in their last 32 at home. That covers the last 10 series, including series number 11 with the Phillies here. We'll see how they fare come series end on Sunday. But this is a ball club, Rock, that is playing at Miller Park right now, like we saw last year at Miller Park.
And they play with a lot of confidence in this ballpark. I don't know if it's the fact that they have that safety net, that last at bat here at home, that not only gives the offense a lot of confidence, but I think the bullpen responds pretty well here along with it. And the energy in this ballpark, just the routine of being home, I guess that's part and parcel to good success. The Brewers' road record not all that great last year.
But 57 home wins last year, the best in baseball.
And 33 games over 500 a year ago. That's going to get you to the postseason. And we always say, you know, baseball people say you win 2 out of 3 at home. You play 500 on the road. That's about 90 wins.
Now the Brewers have not been able to do that on the road. Been a rough road schedule for Milwaukee, but the home fans are getting a few things to cheer about. The Brewers on the road this year 19-38, but at home, if you go back to the beginning of last season, Milwaukee still has the best record in baseball in their home ballpark, and that's saying something with the Texas Rangers and the New York Yankees on that list. Dominic Brown slices one foul down the left field line.
Certain things in baseball, you look at numbers, you look at statistics, and sometimes you try and make sense of them, but really sometimes you really can't explain what's going on. I imagine that the Brewers had a lot of very smart individuals trying to figure this thing out and have not been able to do it.
Brown fouls one the other way this time. Well, it's a players' league. Always has been, always will be. You do your best as a front office, as a coaching staff, as a manager, try to put players in the right positions, but it's all about the players, whether they perform or not. Hard to believe Cliff Lee still has just 2 wins this year.
Another blown save for him last night.
Yeah, Lee left the ball game with the lead. There was an error with 2 outs in the 8th inning that opened up the floodgates. See Cole Hamels next to him. He'll take the ball tomorrow against Mike Fiers. 3-2 pitch called. Strike 3. Gallardo rings the bell. Dominic Brown is rung up.
Now, this is the kind of pitching that Giovanni has been able to pull off his last 3 starts. I mean, impeccable command with his fastball. That one right on the outside corner. Todd Fitzgerald, the home plate umpire, rings it up. But it begins and ends with fastball command for Giovanni Gallardo. When he's able to get ahead in the count, he's able to snap off that curveball for the strikeout. A lot of Yo's strikeouts this year have been looking called strike 3s.
There's a good curveball for a strike. Gets ahead of Lance Nix. Gallardo is coming off an 8 strikeout game against the Astros in Houston. Set a career mark with 14 Ks against the Pirates back in July. And he's averaging about a strikeout per inning pitch this year. He has 147 strikeouts now in 148 innings. There's a swing and a miss. 1-2 the count. Gallardo didn't like that pitch. He got a swing and miss, but he wasn't happy with the location of it.
Yeah, sometimes you get lucky.
Swing and a miss. Maldonado blocks it. He'll secure it at first. Back-to-back strikeouts in the second, and 3 in a row for Gallardo. Rock, his last 3 starts, all resulting in wins and all 7 innings or more.
Yeah, he's been outstanding. I mean, his last time out against the Houston Astros, he tried to get through 8 innings. He lasted 7 2/3. He did scatter 9 hits, gave up 3 runs. Was able to keep the ball in the ballpark. And you know, the pitch count for Yo at about 114. The reason he was able to go 8 innings, almost 8 innings, was Astros swinging early in the count, a lot of early count outs.
Well, Gallardo has that kind of reputation. He's a guy that does get stronger as the season goes. He is a workhorse. A 17-game winner last year, which set a new career best for Gallardo, part of that division championship team. Those are the numbers over his last 3. Just the 4 earned runs. Gallardo missed the Phillies when the Brewers went to Philadelphia last month. So this is the first time the Phillies have seen him this year. But up and down their batting order, not many have experience against Giovanni Gallardo. For example, Kevin Franzen, the Philly hitter, is 0 for 3 against him. And that coming as a member of the Giants when Franzen was in San Francisco.
And as we mentioned on a number of occasions, when you have a situation like that, a pitcher ordinarily has the advantage, but that doesn't last very long. Hitters make adjustments early or quickly. Ryan Harrod's had good success against Yo, but just about nobody else really in the starting lineup.
2-2. Franzen takes a called strike 3, and Gallardo spot on. Strikes out the side. It starts with a called strike 3 on Dominic Brown with a fastball. Lance Nix on a curveball. Franzen with the heater. Second inning, Aramis Ramirez will lead off for Milwaukee. Well, what a run he's been on, and we can't call him hot anymore, Rock. He's just good at this point. An extended string of good hitting for Aramis Ramirez. He is the National League leader in extra base hits and doubles. Leads Joey Votto in the doubles category.
Get off to a typical slow start for Aramis Ramirez, and with everybody figuring that with Miller Park and the warm conditions early in the season that Aramis would get off to a better start. That didn't happen, but I mean, he's doing what he's done his entire career. His first 40 games not very good, but his last almost 70 games outstanding for Aramis Ramirez.
In the right field, playable for Brown, and there is out number 1. 3 of the 4 outs have been in the air for the Brewers against Worley as he retires Aramis Ramirez.
And a lot of fly ball outs last night with the 2 starters out there. Estrada, Cliff Lee.
Nice hand for Corey Hart. We got to live the baseball roller coaster in one night last night. He had struck out 3 times until his final at bat. He was at the plate with the bases loaded, 2 outs and 2 strikes. And you could imagine if that would have ended in a strikeout. That's a long night for Corey Hart, but instead he turned it into a great night with a grand slam home run that was the game winner. Bottom of the 8th inning grand slam, the second of Hart's career. Had a grand slam back in 2010 as well against the Mets.
And he hit that one to the opposite field. A fastball up and away from Josh Lindblom, and just barely able to sneak it over that right center field fence into that Phillies bullpen.
One of the 4 home runs, and the middle of the order providing the home run ball last night, Braun, Ramirez, and Hart. And those three players have a realistic shot to go 1, 2, 3 in extra base hits in the National League. That hasn't been done in any league in baseball since 1960. Some pretty popular names did it back then. Maris and Mantle and Moose Skowron. Back up the middle, a base hit for Hart. And the first safety for the Brewers by the man who ended it last night, essentially.
Yep, man, he got a slider that time, or a cut fastball, whatever you want to call it. Vance Worley trying to get him on a breaking pitch away. And left it down the middle, and Corey Hart able to knock it into center field. Good job staying on that pitch for Hart. First hit of the ball game.
A man on for Martin Maldonado. And a bouncer in the hole. Rollins, long throw in time. Still has a great arm, Jimmy Rollins.
Yes, he does. Range might not be what it used to be, but he's got a very strong, accurate throwing arm over to first base. It helped him out a little bit. The Maldonado was trying to get down to first base. Brewers catcher not running all that well. Able to get him by plenty.
Makes it easy on a first baseman. It's not just a good throw. It's a throw that has a little finishing kick to it as well.
And it's straight over the top. Not a lot of sink to it.
Here is Nyjer Morgan now. 2 outs. Hart at second base. Morgan did not start yesterday. He was used as a pinch hitter. He made the final out in the 8th inning after the Corey Hart home run. And after a grand slam like that, hardly anyone even noticed that Morgan was in the game.
Well, Nyjer getting the start because he's had good success against Worley. 3 for 6, and 2 of their base hits are doubles. So Ron Renicky playing the percentages. Carlos Gomez sits this one out.
Corey Hart ready to run at second. And Morgan slaps it foul. Got him. Morgan tied up with a fastball. He strikes out, and Worley is through the second. Just struck out 4 in a row. So we head to the third. And we welcome you back in. Brian Anderson with Bill Schroeder. And Scott Martins is here. He is the Director of Operations for the the minor league system, and he's the guy who handles the player development as well. And Scott, welcome to the booth. It's great to have you. We've got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. I know fans are kind of anxious to hear what's going on in the minor league system. How about just a general state of the union from your perspective?
Well, I'm always anxious to talk about the minor leagues, especially what we got going down there. As you know, you get to this part of the season, and the dog days have hit, and it starts to grind on you a little bit. But guys are starting to come around on the minor league end. We've got one team in the playoffs, Wisconsin. They'll be in the playoffs in postseason. Brevard's 2 games out right now, so they're fighting for another playoff spot.
It's been interesting to watch some of the names, some of these kids that are down in the minor leagues really making a name for themselves. I mean, guys that nobody really has heard a whole lot about as of yet, but certainly going into spring training next year. Talk about some of the guys that might pop up in big league spring training that are down there right now.
Well, the guys obviously that you probably do know about, Peralta, he's really strung a couple solid outings together now. He's come around. You've got Tyler Thornburg, who you've seen up here, who's performed well down in AAA. Chris Davis is a name that you probably haven't heard of a lot, but man, that guy's on fire. You talk about hot, he's red hot. He came up in the last month and a half. He's probably hitting over close to 400. Had 10 homers and about 30 ribbies. That's one heck of a month. Then you go down to Double-A. You've got
Corey Hart bobbles, but able to recover.
You've got Jimmy Nelson right down there. The pitcher that first half of the season, he was the all-star in the Florida State League. He came up. He's pitching well now. You got Scooter Gennett, of course, who was in the Futures game for the Brewers. And then Hunter Morris is a name that I heard you guys talking about him as of late, and I think you're going to be hearing a lot more of him. Currently, he leads the league in homers, the Southern League. He's second in RBIs, and I think he's 4th in batting average. Triple Crown threat, and a guy that will definitely warrant the MVP of the Southern League honors. And since we're speaking of that, I'll throw a trivia question at you guys.
Oh, great.
I know how you like those
We're not
trivia.
good at that.
Who was the last Brewer player, current Brewer player, that was the MVP of the Southern League?
All right. That's a good one.
Maybe that's your trivia question for later on in the
So
game.
Yeah, can we wait maybe an inning?
all
We
right.
can think about it.
Last Brewer player, and he's a current player
Correct.
to win the Southern League MVP. All right. That's a good one to think about. Scott Martins is with us, business manager of the Brewers minor league operations and player development. As Jimmy Rollins takes a strike. There's been a new momentum, I guess, towards and funds, resources towards a Dominican academy as well. And former Brewer Solomon Torres has a couple of facilities down there, and we had Doug Melvin on earlier this year talking about the purchase of that facility, and I know you were heavily involved in that, Scott. And where is that right now? The Brewers are trying to be more of a factor in the international pool, especially in Latin America, in the Dominican Republic. Where do things stand right now in the DR?
Well, right now, we've been in our new academy for approximately a year. Not quite. As you mentioned, we're leasing it from Solomon Torres, the former Brewer closer. And he currently has three complexes that we lease in San Pedro de Macorís, which is about 45 minutes from the airport in Santo Domingo, about an hour drive. So there's a number of teams out there. It's a beautiful complex. I remember going down to Dominican 10, 15 years ago, and you would just shake your head when you come back. And now you go down there and say, hey, you know what? This is pretty nice. And it is a nice complex. We've got a great staff that runs things down there. Eduardo Brizuela and Cesar Aranguin, and they do a great job.
Now we understand that the Brewers and did a nice community service project down in the Dominican Republic. Some of the summer league team participants. Talk about what you guys did down there.
Yeah, well, community service is something that's obviously a big part of what we do here at the Brewers. Obviously, Mark and Debbie Antanasio are big, strong advocates of getting involved in the community. You've seen that here in some of the initiatives they took up in Milwaukee. And we've taken that to mind, and we've carried that through the minor leagues. What you're seeing are pictures of some of our community service project we did down in the Dominican. It's a school right next to our complex down there. Our players visit that quite often during the course of the year just to get to know the kids, and gives them a little break from the field. And then as they started going through it, they started to notice, hey, you know, we need to do something with this, or we need to do something with that. And trust me, if you've been down there, there's a lot of areas that are in need of improvements.
Sure. Great ambassadors as well, and it's not just about being part of a team for the Brewers Dominican Summer League team, but also part of that community, and that's something I'm sure you guys are seeing all throughout the minor league system, and hoping that translates to major league players when they finally get to the major leagues, that they will have that already ingrained in them.
And that's something we really try to encourage our players. In spring training, Reed Nichols, our farm director, will speak to the players, and one of the things when he addresses them right away is, you guys are ambassadors of the game. And we really try to encourage our players. We tell them that we're going to encourage them to get out in each of the minor league cities to get involved. But we tell them we not only encourage, but we expect it. And what we also do is at each of the affiliates, we'll have a community service award. I call up each of the minor league GMs and ask them at the end of the year, give me the name of the player who is most involved, most active in the community. And they give me their selections, and we give them a plaque and award at the end of the year.
Great. Well, Scott, it's great to have you. Thanks for the update on the minor league system. Scott Martins is here.
Thanks for
well
having
done.
me.
Good job, Scott.
All right, thanks for having me.
You guys are doing great work. Can't wait to see some of the fruits of the labor. We'll be seeing them soon, I'm sure. On Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, your ticket to more. And by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. Great scene here, Milwaukee, Miller Park, and big crowd here to watch this one. Game 2 of this series, the Brewers and the Phillies. Brewers winning in dramatic style last night. Vance Worley back on the mound. He starts his third inning. Gene Segura will lead off. Speaking of Dominican-born Brewers, Gene Segura. Good to have Scott Martins with us. Now, he asked us a trivia question, and we had to go to the book to figure it out. His question was, who was the last MVP of the Southern League?
Right.
He's a current Brewer.
Yep, Corey Hart is the answer. 2003 in Huntsville.
There you go. What were his numbers?
He hit .302. He had 94 RBIs, 40 doubles, and 13 home runs. Corey Hart, the last Southern League MVP.
Segura with a base hit to right.
That was a nice stroke right there.
Well, how about we take a run through social media? Sophia Minard and Craig Kashan. What do you have tonight, guys?
All right, B, I tell you what, Mike Fiers on the hill tomorrow, and he has made it very public. He really wants his first big league hit. How are you going to help him out?
Well, he does. Players do different things to break out of slumps, and Mike Fiers, he's going to do something a little different. He's going to change his at-bat music, and the good news is he's putting it in the hands of the fans. So our Twitter question for tonight for the fans, what song should Mike Fiers change his at-bat music to, and why? You can tweet us at FS Wisconsin with the hashtag Fiers First Hit. And guys, we're hoping that this at-bat change will maybe help Fiers get that first hit he's been looking for.
That is something to track. I mean, we've got the Aramis Ramirez doubles tracker. He has a chance at a franchise record for doubles. And Mike Fiers for his first hit.
Yeah, well, you never know what it's going to take. I mean, guys change their uniform a little bit when they're having a tough time. Maybe the music will be just a ticket. Who knows?
Gallardo with a sacrifice bunt that advances Segura.
It certainly can't be his pitch selection or his approach.
I wonder if Mike Fiers knows that Cole Hamels is pitching tomorrow. I mean, his odds just went down significantly for that fact alone. Good to see Mike has his priorities in order.
Yeah.
That's a between starts day discussion.
Those are the kind of things you talk about if you have a rough outing. You don't want to talk about pitching. Looking for a bounce back after a rough one in Colorado.
Here's Nori Aoki. And a runner at second with one out. Leadoff single, then a sac bunt. Aoki flew out to center field his first time up on a pop-up. Worley has one strikeout thus far. As Aoki pulls one. Foul. That'll be in the seats. 0-2 the count. The Brewers had a runner at second base with 2 outs in the second inning. Worley struck out Nigel Morgan, his lone strikeout, to end the threat. No score, bottom third. The speedy Segura at second base. Might see Segura show up at the Brewers Dominican Academy this offseason. It's a nice spot for those guys to go train if they need be. He's from San Juan. Carlos Gomez spent some time at that academy last year, worked out down there and spoke to the young Dominican players.
Yeah, it's a necessity these days to have a presence down in Latin America, the Dominican Republic, all over, Latin America. That's where a lot of the young ball players are coming from, and there's no draft down there, so you have to get down there and spread goodwill with the Brewers, as Scott Martins was talking about. They're doing a pretty good job of making a name for yourself in the community.
And he's second out as Aoki pops up. And that'll bring up Ricky Weeks. There's no better way to expand your organization, to spread the word, than to have players from that country speak highly of your organization. And certainly Aramis Ramirez, I mean, he is a legend in the Dominican Republic for the kind of career he's had. He spends a lot of time in the Dominican in the off season, very charitable in his work as well. A beloved figure down there, and that can't hurt the Brewers. Ramirez will be an ambassador for them and their organization when you try to sign players. As Rock mentioned, there's no draft. Players become eligible when they're 16 years old. And you try to sign the best talent, and then you enter them into the academy. And it's not just baseball at the academy either. There's 3 meals a day. You have English lessons. They get out in the community, as Scott was telling us. And it's the full package, trying to prepare these players to come over to the States and enter into the minor league side in the United States.
And everybody thinks how difficult it is for the players from Japan coming over here into the culture. Sometimes it affects the young kids over in Latin America as well.
Weeks into right center, got under this one, and Brown hauls it away. Dan Swirly strands another runner at second.
into the game, and there hasn't been a whole lot going on offensively for either team. There's only been 3 hits. 2 by the Brewers, 1 by the Phillies. Yamani Gallardo's had good command of his fastball here so far tonight. 4 punch-outs. Left a couple of men in, or left a man in scoring position. Van Swirley's done a nice job as well.
Worley has stranded 2 base runners at second base. Gallardo has given up just the 1 hit. That hit came off the bat of Brian Schneider, the catcher. That was last inning. Gallardo had a string of 4 consecutive strikeouts at the end of the first and struck out the side in the second. Goes to work against Chase Utley, the only other base runner for the Phillies. He walked in the first. Utley has nearly a third of his season walks this year in the 4 games against the Brewers as he slaps that one fair. That is on the line, bounces up and out, and a ground rule double for Chase Utley. Looks like it was right on the line.
Yeah, stays on the ball as well as anybody. Utley taking that pitch on the outside corner and just barely able to keep it inside the left field line for a leadoff double. And watch the bat control. He stands right on top of home plate. A nice easy swing, and that ball is fair by about 6 inches.
Knee injuries have saddled Chase Utley. Says he's feeling healthy now, and he leads this inning off with a double. Now Ryan Howard. Howard, a strikeout victim in the first inning. Howard 2 for 6 lifetime against Gallardo. One of those 2 hits a home run. Gallardo has now struck him out 4 times. That one's hit well center field. Morgan going back and can't make the catch. Utley had to go back to the bag. He'll score easily as Howard lumbers into second with an RBI double off the glove of Nigel Morgan. He did not get a good jump on that baseball, and he was unable to bring it in. That's going to be a hit for Howard, I believe.
Yeah, he got there, but right off the glove. A ball that Morgan will tell you should have had. Ryan Howard hits it well. A breaking pitch that stayed up a little bit. And Nigel got there, but just wasn't in the right spot. Kind of overran it a little bit. Right off the thumb of the glove. And Chase Utley, even though he went back to tag up, able to score.
Phillies lead it 1-0 as Howard drives in his 20th. Back-to-back doubles for the Phillies to start this 4th inning. Dominic Brown, a strikeout victim in the second. Well, Dominic Brown did not get the fanfare that Jason Hayward did of the Atlanta Braves, but those two, as they were coming up in the organizations, their respective organizations, thought of similarly. Hayward has come on and burst onto the scene, and he's off to a nice start in his career, while Brown has not been able to stick in the big leagues. You know, the Phillies, as they've gone through their 5 division titles, they're pretty well set in their outfield, and Brown has had a hard time breaking in.
A much tougher outfield to break into if you think about it.
He's been up and down the last 2 years. This is his 3rd year after the trades sending Hunter Pence to the Giants and Shane Victorino to the Dodgers. The door is now officially wide open for Dominic Brown. It's only 24. And the Phillies are hoping he'll hit for the kind of power that Hayward has in Atlanta. Hits that one sharply. Hart knocks it down. Gallardo late to cover, and safe is the call.
Yeah, it looked like Corey had it in the glove. And then Gallardo stopped. Dominic Brown never really did stop. He slowed down a little bit, but just kept going. He saw something that nobody else saw. As from up here, it looked like Corey had that ball in his glove. And not a bad pitch. And check out Corey Hart. That right off the end of the glove. Actually, he had the glove on top of the baseball. Nobody saw it. Brown kept running. Giovanni wasn't sure where it was.
So that'll go as a base hit.
And Ryan Howard stays at second base.
Yeah, Howard had to go back to the bag just to make sure it wasn't a line drive out. He couldn't see it from his vantage point as Rick Kranitz makes a quick trip to the mound.
And knocking it down and keep it into the infield, and that saves a run for now. There's still nobody out. Ryan Howard on the line drive. He takes off. That comes back. And that's why he's not able to get to third base. Took about 3 steps on the line drive before he saw it was still in the infield.
So after all of that, 2 on, first and second with nobody out. 3 straight hits to start the inning. And here's Lance Nix. Gallardo struck Nix out on a curveball in the second inning. Making his second start in center field. Last night was his first start of the season in center. He's always been a good outfielder. There's a strike. Back to the curveball goes Gallardo.
We're pretty close to the same pitch.
Charlie Manuel saying center field is the spot for Nix. Not that he's the best center field option, but he's been swinging the bat well, and he needs at bats as he's come back from a calf injury. And the Phillies want to find out if he can be a contributor. He's hit for a .264 average. Only has 72 at bats this season. Injuries have cost him a great deal throughout his career. He's never been able to stay on the field. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. Gallardo gets him again on a curveball.
Yeah, he threw a couple of get-me-over curveballs to Nix. He was able to throw one for a strike. And here's the put-away curveball. Straight down and able to get Nix over the top of it. Man, every Sunday home game, the first 2,000 kids ages 12 and under coming into Miller Park get a coupon for a free Blue Bunny mini swirl cone. That's compliments of Blue Bunny ice cream.
One gone for Kevin Franzen. A guy who rode that baseball roller coaster yesterday had a huge hit for the Phillies. A 3 RBI double that gave the Phillies the lead. Came on a 2-strike pitch. Took it from a 3-1 Brewer lead to a 4-3 Philadelphia lead.
Yeah, that was in the 5th inning.
And Franzen came up in the 9th inning, had a base hit. He had 3 hits and 3 RBIs last night. That one's into right. Aoki is there. And there's out number 2. But Franzen committed the big error that opened the inning for the Crew. Our AT&T trivia, not the Scott Martin's trivia. We've already answered that. This is the official AT&T trivia question. Which 3 active pitchers have a better career save percentage than Jonathan Papelbon? 3 active. Papelbon's actually had a nice year for the Phillies. Was an all-star. 26 saves this year. Coming over from the Red Sox. The trouble is not with their closer, the Phillies. The trouble is getting from the starter to the closer.
Right. Yeah, Papelbon 26 out of 29. That's a pretty good year.
Schneider had the first Phillies hit. Batting with 2 outs and 2 on. Little flare. That could be trouble. Slicing foul.
You see the look on Gallardo's face thinking if that ball dropped, I give up. That was a good pitch, right in on his fists. But Schneider strong, able to muscle it, almost got himself a double down the line.
Well, Gallardo a chance to get out of this mess. Started with 3 straight hits. Could have very easily been just 1 hit. Defensive breakdowns. 0-2 the count. And Schneider rolls over 1 foul. Gallardo looks good tonight. Has a good curveball going. It's usually a telltale sign of a quality Gallardo start, whether he has the hook or not. Already with 5 strikeouts, he could use 1 here. 2 on, 2 out. And the 0-2 pitch. Schneider lays off.
Good command of the fastball. That strike 3 curveball has been a good pitch for him tonight. Good job by Schneider laying off of that last pitch. That's a tough pitch to lay off of. Some good downward break on it, breaking quickly.
A very slow runner at second, and Howard. Schneider takes a call at strike 3. Gallardo dropped the hammer on him again. Strikeout number 6, and now the big boys coming up. Braun and Ramirez set to lead off when we head to the 4th.
The bottom of the 4th inning. Time to check in with the crew and the community. Brewers Community Foundation launches a whole week of fun for a cause. The ultimate auction is a fan favorite. 13 experiences are available for bid online, including use of a suite at Miller Park for 20 guests, Mark Antonisio's 5 front row seats, an all expense trip to Brewers Fantasy Camp at Maryvale Park in Phoenix, Arizona. The raffles and games will be featured each day over 2 homestands on the field level first base side here at Miller Park. Brian.
All right, thanks a lot, Telly. That's a great cause. Hopefully be able to raise a lot of money, a lot of great things to bid on. I hope you get started with that soon, especially the dinner. I haven't looked at the auction page. I'm not sure how we're doing, how we're trending, but I'm a little worried about our performance in the dinner with Rock and me here in the media dining room before a game.
We're going to start calling some friends.
Yeah, we will be the laughing stock. I remember one year we auctioned off a Bill Schroeder game used jersey. And you know, there was some smirks. You know, I mean, if you got to go Ryan Braun or Bill Schroeder, but at the end of the day, who had the highest bid? Right?
I wasn't smirking.
Braun, a slow roller, going to be a tough play. Franson makes the throw. Nicely done. That was an outstanding play by Kevin Franson to get the speedy Ryan Braun.
Yeah, coming in when Ryan Braun snips base hit, he kicks it into an extra gear, but Franson doing a nice job coming in hard and making a good throw over to first base. Able to use the glove, gets the transfer, and able to get Braun by half a step. You know, he kind of added a few things to that jersey. That was actually the jersey that I wore for Commissioner Selig's statue dedication.
That's right. That's right.
We all were wearing jerseys, and we kind of added a few extras, like a booth visit.
Sweeten the pot a little bit.
I think that's what we need to start doing here.
As I recall, only Hank Aaron had a higher bid than the Bill Schroeder jersey.
Right.
A testament to Brewers fans. So we're going to have to start coming up with some stuff, Rock. Because, you know, I got nothing to offer.
You have nothing?
The opening bid is at $800 for that dinner. And the current bid is at $800.
So somebody's bid on it?
No.
Or no?
It's still sitting there. Oh, I beg your pardon. Somebody did bid $800.
We do have a bid. So
okay.
$800 isn't bad.
I feel better now.
Is that your dad?
Thanks to Mr. Underwoods or Mrs. Underwoods. As long as it's not Underhill. Put it on the Underhill's bill. Go to the website right now. Brewers.com. Ramos Ramirez down on the count, a ball and 2 strikes. Hit one off the center field scoreboard last night, off the Miller light sign in center field. Just an absolute bomb from Ramirez. And down he goes. Worley strikes out of Ramos Ramirez. It's his best fastball of the night.
Yeah, the Cubs return to Miller Park next week as the Brewers host Dale Swaim and his Chicago Cubs. I just still can't get used to that. That's Monday through Wednesday of next week. For tickets, call 902-4000 or visit Brewers.com.
Cubs are talking about a contract extension with their young shortstop, Starlin Castro. It's been in the news lately. Nothing finalized, but talks are headed in that direction. It was just a couple of weeks ago, Dale Swaim benched Starlin Castro for a lack of concentration.
Right.
Seems like an extension is in order.
Yeah, he's some kind of player. But it's always that concentration level for young kids. Remember, he's still young. Very young man. What's he, 22?
Yep, 22. Hard down the line, foul. Starlin Castro's been one of the top hitters in the National League. Led the league in hits last year. At the age of 21, he was in the big leagues at 20. And he and the Cubs will be here on Monday. Hart rips one back up the middle. His second hit.
Well, he was pulling off the baseball last night up until his last at bat. Really doing a nice job staying on it, banging the ball back into center field. It's amazing how one swing, one at bat will change a lot of things. Sometimes it's how you take a pitch. Sometimes a pitcher makes a mistake and you drive one out of the ballpark. And Corey Hart standing right on that baseball, hands first, leading that bat to the strike zone, not trying to pull it, and he's 2 for 2.
Both hits back up the middle in similar fashion. And now Martin Maldonado with 2 outs and Hart at first. Maldonado had a home run in Colorado at Coors Field. That skips by Schneider. And Hart will ease into second base.
Well, not sure if it hit the dirt. It certainly didn't look like it hit the dirt. That's a pass ball. Looked like a cross-up right there, right between the legs of Brian Schneider. And it will indeed be a pass ball. It's hard to get a cross-up when you're not giving multiple signs. Usually that happens when there's a man out at second base.
And after that, Vance Worley wiping off his glasses, which is an appropriate action to crossing up your catcher. I never trusted a pitcher who wore glasses.
No.
Well, the Brewers, for the third consecutive inning, have a runner in scoring position. Phillies lead 1-0. Brewers trying to break through. Maldonado takes 3-0 the count.
There aren't many players, period, that wear glasses. It's all contacts these days. The LASIK surgery.
I had the LASIK surgery.
Yeah.
It's one of the best things I ever did. Still holding up strong 10 years later.
K-Rod wears them, right?
Yep. I like when K-Rod breaks out the orange contacts, the tinted contacts. He looks like a wrestler.
Tyler Clippard wears glasses.
Yeah.
Washington Nationals closer.
That's a good one.
Back in my day, Eric Plunk.
What a great name. And he wore glasses.
Yeah, big black horn rim jobs.
You hardly wanted to stand in the batter's box against a pitcher named Plunk.
He was a Brewer.
Well, Worley trying to pitch out of a jam for the third straight inning. Brewers have been knocking at the door. Worley fell behind Maldonado 3-0, now 3-2. Maldonado with 7 home runs, 25 driven in 182 at bats. A full season for a catcher would be somewhere around 450, 500 at bats. Maldonado takes ball 4. Good at bat for Martin Maldonado. 2 on now with 2 away. And here comes Nigel Morgan. Fox Saturday Baseball tomorrow. The Pirates and the Cardinals, division rivals, both trying to stay in playoff contention. Fox Saturday Baseball telecast begins at 2:30 p.m. Central, only on Fox. Cincinnati leads the division by 6 games over the Pirates and 7 games over the Cardinals. In the wild card race, the Pirates are 4 back of Atlanta, while the Cardinals are 5 games out. Bunch of teams still in it all across the National and American League with that extra wild card team this year. There will be 2 wild card entries. Chance at redemption here for Nigel Morgan. He was up with a runner at second in the second inning. Worley struck him out. Nigel had a couple of RBIs in Colorado in his last start on Sunday, or rather on Wednesday. Had a big hit in that game Wednesday in Denver. It tied the game. The Brewers at one point were trailing 4-0. Morgan had a late inning single that squared it up. In the air, right center field. Dominic Brown at the track. At the wall, he drops it. Hart will score. Here comes Maldonado. He'll score. Morgan in the third. A miscue in right field by Dominic Brown, and the Brewers take the lead.
Well, Nigel gave Allen about as good a ride as he could hit it. And hit it well, but Dominic Brown should have had it. I mean, it was Brown that almost was able to get to Corey Hart's grand slam last night. Just missed that home run.
And Shotley should have had this one. And Nigel gives this one a pretty good ride. Just drops the head of the bat on a fastball right down the middle. Brown got there right off the glove. And you would think as far as he had to go to get that, it's going to be a triple for Nigel Morgan.
A triple and 2 RBIs for Morgan. 2-1 Brewers. They take the lead. First triple of the year. And with the pitcher Gallardo coming up, Charlie Manuel issues the intentional walk orders. That's a play a big league right fielder should be able to make.
Yeah. Evan Nigel hit that one well. I don't think he could hit one much further than that out in that direction. Nice swing.
So 1st and 3rd now. Segura, a base stealer at first base with Gallardo coming up. Gallardo is the kind of pitcher at the plate who can do some things. He certainly has the power, but Andronicky feels comfortable in various scenarios, hit and runs, certainly bunts, things of that nature. He's a guy that handles the bat well. And he has 9 career home runs, most in franchise history. That was a ball off of Nigel Morgan's glove that led to the Phillies' run in this 4th inning. A big cut by Gallardo. Dominic Brown last night on the grand slam, a narrow miss, and just a moment ago on a triple by Morgan.
Almost worked. Segura took a couple of steps towards second base and able to get back.
One and 2 the count on Gallardo. I have to wonder about Dominic Brown's confidence. You hear a lot about confidence with pitchers and hitters, but it certainly carries over to your defense as well. Brown did make a great catch yesterday in foul territory, but the last 2 as Segura takes off and no throw from Schneider. It looked like Segura, if there was a throw, was going to try to get in a rundown. But instead, that's his first career Major League stolen base.
And you certainly have a couple of guys with some speed. And it did look as though that was what he was thinking. Wasn't really worried too much about sliding.
Gallardo in the right. That is down for a hit. Morgan scores. Segura will score. Giovanni Gallardo with 2 strikes and 2 outs delivers a pair. And the Brewers have a 4-1 lead.
How about that? 2 outs, nobody on. And the Brewers able to mount a rally. And 2 walks were helpful in this inning. All started by that Corey Hart single up the middle. A little bit too much of the plate with that fastball. Supposed to be away, ended up middle in. And Gallardo just dumps it out there off the handle into right field.
The stolen base pays off in another run. Gallardo drives in 2 runs, gives him 7 for the season. The Morgan triple set it all up. Rich Doobie, a quick visit to the mound. The skipper having a word with Morgan. Top of the order, Nori Aoki, the 8th batter of the inning. 4-1 Milwaukee, and all 4 runs coming with 2 outs. Remember, Worley had 2 outs, nobody on. A single, a walk, a triple, an intentional walk, and a single with 2 strikes by the pitcher Gallardo. Pitch count is on the rise for Worley. That was number 74.
certainly should have been out of the inning with that fly ball by Nigel Morgan out in the right center. That should have been caught, and because of that, 4 runs in. And to make matters worse for Worley, they're all earned on a ball that should have been caught. You can see he's upset. And rightly so.
Might be a good time to take all the Gatorade coolers down into the clubhouse. Oh, Aoki drilled. As Worley comes high and tight, hits Nori Aoki. And the inning continues. It'll be first and second with 2 outs. Sounded like it caught Aoki right on that padding on his elbow.
Yeah, that's why he has it. That bangs that elbow right over home plate, and he'll take first base.
Well, the Brewers have a chance to maybe knock Worley out of this game. Right now the bullpen is quiet. You figure another base runner and Charlie Manuel will have no choice. 4 runs in, 2 on, 2 out for Weeks, and a fastball strike. The Brewers have won 7 consecutive games at Miller Park. And back-to-back sweeps. And then they won last night. Looking to make it 8 in a row. And if you go back over the last 10 series at Miller Park, the Brewers are 8-1-1. 8 series wins, only 1 series loss.
And just the opposite on the road. I mean, that guy right there, it's got to be keeping him up at night. The problems that the Brewers have had away from home. Matter of fact, I know it is.
Now that's what's so frustrating about this club. It's a good team. I mean, these guys, there's enough firepower there, and Renicky has said it many times. The late leads that have gotten away can be demoralizing. Renicky doesn't use that phrase, but you get that sense. Doesn't mean you can't give them a finish, though. Brewers are trying to do that. You know, you think back to the Dodgers last year. Dodgers were under 500 after the All-Star break. I think they were as low as 7 games under, maybe 9 under. And Don Mattingly kept them together, and they had a great finish to the season. They actually finished over 500, and it carried over into the spring. Mattingly talks about it all the time. The finish that the Dodgers had last year carried over to spring training, into the season, gave them some hope, some expectation, and now they are in contention this year for a division title.
Yep, in first place, 11 games over 500. There's no quit in any team. There never should be, and certainly not any quit in this Brewers club.
Count goes full to Ricky Weeks. Well, now the runners will be on the move. Gives Gallardo a head start at second. And Aoki at first. Full count, 2 outs. The big bopper on deck. Weeks should get something he can handle. Runners go. Weeks takes ball 4. And now Worley swimming into deep waters with the bases loaded and Braun coming up.
Well, the Brewers able to bat around, and 3 walks and a hit batter along with the base hits. And now he's got to deal with Ryan Braun with the bases loaded.
Bullpen activity for the Phillies. B.J. Rosenberg. And here comes Braun. Braun will be ready to attack. Worley has struggled with his command. Catches the corner with a breaking ball. That was a good pitch by Worley.
Yep, that cut fastball slider. That'll keep you wondering up there at the plate. Good pitch.
Ryan Braun has 3 career grand slams. cut. 0-2 the count.
Up away, then inside with the fastball. Good location that time for Worley.
Gallardo, Aoki, Weeks. Bases loaded. 4 runs in. All of this with 2 outs. Braun started this inning with a ground out. And down he goes. Worley strikes out Ryan Braun. A huge out for Vance Worley. But the Brewers have the lead now, 4-1.
Nigel Moore with a big triple, driving a couple of runs, and tonight's time of the game winner is Flambeau Lanes in Park Falls, Wisconsin. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
And time now for our Carsoup.com email the booth question. Matt in New Richmond wants to know, what do you see as the best division race in baseball right now? And with that extra wild card team,
a couple of real good ones
certainly brings it in. But the National League West right now is the closest race. The Dodgers and the Giants, that could go right down to the finish line.
AL Central is a good one. Nobody's really running away with it.
The largest division lead starting play today. Well, there's a few teams with 6-game leads, but they have a chance to ebb and flow and tighten up. I think the Reds, they're coming off such a hot streak. You figure they're going to cool a little bit. Cincinnati, the Central Division leader, a 6-game lead over the Pirates. But the Nationals have the best record in all of baseball. And you're wondering how long the Nationals can keep at that pace. They did have a bit of news today, the Nationals. Ian Desmond, their all-star shortstop, returned from the disabled list. And that meant Cesares Torres, who was traded to the Nationals, or was claimed on waivers by the Nationals from the Brewers, was designated for assignment today.
Did they increase the innings cap for Strasburg again?
Only Mike Rizzo knows the answer to that question, the Nationals general manager. That is a hot debate, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a tough call, isn't it? I'll tell you, my surprise this year so far, it's got to be the Baltimore Orioles are hanging right in there. Only 6 behind the New York Yankees. They and the Rays 6 back. One of the bigger surprises, certainly in the American League this year.
Yeah, for sure. They got a great closer in Jim Johnson. J.J. Hardy's having a good year.
Yeah.
Adam Jones. And this young third baseman. I don't know if you've been able to follow the Orioles at all out there, but Manny Machado is 20 years old. He's playing third base on a pennant contending team.
Yeah. Showalter is doing a nice job of that team.
Yeah, right now he's probably the manager of the year in the American League, depending on what happens the rest of the season. He's the leader in the clubhouse, if you will. Jimmy Rollins down 0-2. Where do you stand on the Strasburg pitch limit at this point?
I think that you take your opportunities. If you can go to the postseason, you go for it, man. You know, I mean, I'm all for protecting an arm, and I know Strasburg wants to pitch. His teammates want him to pitch. It's going to be awfully difficult for the Nationals to say to the fans and to the players, okay, one of the best pitchers in all baseball not going to pitch anymore. As you're approaching the postseason and get into the postseason, good luck with that.
And he's having a Cy Young type year. 1-2 to Jimmy Rollins.
You know, a lot of things can happen. I mean, you know, Strasburg's certainly a great talent, and everybody understands all the data that you have in shutting a pitcher down after that surgery. But who says and who knows that the Washington Nationals are going to be in this position again next year or the year after?
Yep.
It's a magical season for the Nationals. Take advantage of it. Go for it.
There's a strike called as Gallardo rings up Jimmy Rollins. His 7th strikeout. A reminder that Sundays on Fox Sports Wisconsin after our ball game, you can join Tom Brokaw for Boys in the Hall. This week it's Whitey Ford. Boys in the Hall Sundays presented by Subway Restaurants, where winners eat. I think the one thing that, and who are we to tell Mike Rizzo what to do with his pitchers, but the one thing that maybe goes unnoticed is the cruising speed for Strasburg. We'll talk about that when we come back. Quick inning for Gallardo. 1-2-3 with another strikeout. It's been an entertaining ball game so far. 4-1. The Brewers have the lead over the Philadelphia Phillies. Second game of this 4-game series. And a reminder that this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Brewers, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of the Brewers. Friday night in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, on a picture-perfect night for baseball.
Let me qualify some of the things that we were talking about last inning. We didn't finish.
The Steven Strasburg discussion.
We didn't finish. I'm not saying have the guy throw 240 innings. I'm not saying that. There's other ways to minimize his innings. You know, pitch him every 7th day, pitch him every 8th day. If in fact you can do that, I don't know. But just to say at some point in beginning of September, you know what, you're not pitching anymore. And we're in a pennant race. That's a tough thing to sell to anybody, particularly Strasburg himself. You think he's going to sit on the sidelines through the postseason run?
Well, the number that was out there at the beginning of the year was 160 innings. Mike Rizzo has backed off that. Matter of fact, I spoke to Mike Rizzo last month, and he did not put a innings limit on it. He said it's not 160. That's an arbitrary number. That's what we did with Jordan Zimmerman, but not different circumstances. Zimmerman came back from Tommy John, but the Nationals weren't in a pennant race.
Right.
So it is going to be a very interesting discussion, and only because of the type of pitcher Strasburg is. He's one of the best pitchers in the game right now, and the Nationals are in a pennant race. That's why it's such a big story. But it happens a lot. Teams shut down pitchers all the time. The Brewers are going to do that with a number of their young pitchers this year. There's a shot backhanded by Utley, and Ramirez is out. Had him well positioned. So Ramirez, the first out of the 6th inning. And it's not to say the Nationals don't have enough to carry it through the postseason. They have a ton of pitching. Matter of fact, Jordan Zimmerman, the Wisconsin native, is having as good a year as anyone. Hart got in on the hands a little bit. As Pierre makes a catch for the out. 2 gone in the inning. It's a good debate. Old schoolers like yourself, Rock.
Now you asked me what I thought. Are you going to say what you think? Or are you going to sit on the fence?
Nobody cares about my opinion, Rock.
That's what I thought.
No. I actually agree with you, but I think there are ways.
Right.
I mean, I think it's too late right now, but you know, you can start a guy a little later. You can limit his innings. The Nationals have been bullheaded about making sure he pitches every 5th day. You know, you could have started after the All-Star break. They don't want to keep him out of his every 5th day routine, though, and I think that's probably something that you could avoid. You could also come up with a blister, as I heard John Smoltz say once. Come up with a blister and miss a start, even if you don't have one. You know, if you're Strasburg, essentially saying you could fake an injury. But these are the numbers, and these are the innings for Steven Strasburg. And if the number is going to be 170, 180, it's going to be the 2nd week or the 3rd week in September when he'll achieve those innings. But I can't imagine him not pitching in a pennant race.
Yeah, no way.
So I'm with you. But I'm just a fan.
So am I.
I know one thing. Jim Leyland was pretty adamant with Justin Verlander in the postseason last year. Did not bring him back in Game 5 against the Yankees in the LDS, when many felt he could have come back. And had the Yankees won that Game 5 and won that series, there would have been a ton of questions. But Leyland was bullheaded in his response as well. I'm not going to put Justin Verlander's career in jeopardy. And that's the same approach the Nationals have had. The Tigers ended up winning Game 5, and they advanced to the LCS last year. Maldonado into left center. Ball's got some carry to it, and it's off the wall. Maldonado into second with a double. A 2-out double, and the Brewers back in business with 2 outs in an inning.
Yeah, young man just keeps hitting. You know, Walken scored a run in his last at bat, had a fastball in, and he pulled the hands in, didn't get all of it. That ball carries pretty well for Martin Maldonado, who just continues to swing the bat well, buying himself some playing time. He's been playing a lot, even after the #1 guy, Lucroy, comes back off the disabled list.
Maldonado safe at second, safe and secure. New York Life. A 2-out double. Puts a runner in scoring position for Niger Morgan, who slaps one to left, a base hit. And they will hold Maldonado around third. Wise move by Ed Cedar.
Even though Juan Pierre does not have a very good throwing arm, he was very shallow for Morgan. You know, that combined with the fact that Maldonado doesn't run all that fast. Eddie Cedar saying, you really didn't think I was going to send you, did you?
And Maldonado says, I hope not.
Yeah, look at Pierre. I mean, he's right on it. He has the baseball about 2 steps before Maldonado gets to third.
Vance Worley just could not finish the inning, could not finish the 4th, although his defense let him down. And he's out. The Philly starter exits this game with 2 outs in the 5th. And Charlie Manuel goes to the bullpen. We'll set up the new pitcher when we come back. With his second hit of the ball game, and it's 4-1 Brewers. Jimmy John's high-speed delivery tonight. Worley is fast as 92. Gallardo, a 95-mile-an-hour fastball he has shown tonight. Gallardo has 6 strikeouts. He drove in 2 runs as well. He's due up next. Charlie Manuel making a pitching change here. Out is Worley. 4 2/3 innings, and at this point 4 earned runs. It's the right-hander B.J. Rosenberg out of the Philadelphia bullpen.
Yeah, called up on August 3rd. The 3rd time he's been with the Phillies this year, back and forth. You see his numbers: 7 appearances, a big earned run average. He's given up 7 walks to go along with 7 strikeouts and 6 in the 3rd. So he has had some command issues.
Gene Segura, a single and a walk tonight. Had a big stolen base last inning. And he cranks that one to left field. That is a mile high. Pierre is there, and that's the inning. So the Phillies get out of it. Brewers strand 2. Still 4-1 Milwaukee. 4-1 lead as we head to the 6th inning. Well, the Packers struggled to get a preseason loss last night. How does the team look to set it to a set of trained eyes? Read Paul Immig's next day report card on that game. FoxSportsWisconsin.com. I assume Paul Immig is the trained eyes portion of that. Time now for our AT&T Uverse reverse replay. I'll take you back. We're going to do AT&T trivia, Ron. Which 3 active pitchers have a better career save percentage than Jonathan Papelbon? And the answer is Joe Nathan, now the Rangers, Mariano Rivera, Jose Valverde. A pretty good list.
Yeah.
Gallardo starts Chase Utley with strike 1. Nothing to add to that list.
That's a good question. We've had some pretty good trivia questions in the second half of the year. Thought maybe the Axeman would be on that list. I mean, given 49 in a row, since you're making me make a comment regarding the list, I figured I'd throw that in there.
You got a set of trained eyes on it. Always trust your trained eyes. Gallardo coming off a 3-up, 3-down inning. Got Worley on a fly ball to center. Got a strikeout in the inning. His 7th strikeout of the game. Ball and 2 strikes on Utley. Just upstairs. Utley has not been retired tonight by Gallardo. Walked him in the 1st, and he doubled and scored in the 4th. Both teams could argue that runs have scored tonight, courtesy of misplays in the outfield. Not routine plays necessarily, but certainly catchable balls.
Yeah, both would have been nice catches, but both outfielders would tell you they should have had them. I agree.
Nyjer Morgan and Phillies right fielder Dominic Brown. But the Brewers cashed in a much bigger fashion, scoring 4 runs. Gallardo was able to pitch around that, allowing just 1 run in the 4th. As he walks Utley again. Second time Utley has walked, the only 2 that Gallardo has given up.
Is that 9 times now the Brewers have walked Chase Utley in 5 games. And he doesn't walk that much against everybody else.
Well, and when you walk Utley, you deal with Ryan Howard with a man on. The kind of bat that can give the Phillies instant offense. Howard had the double in the RBI in the 4th. That was the deep fly ball off the glove of Morgan. Howard is not running well, so anything on the ground, it's almost a guaranteed double play. If it's at an infielder, it's Howard with that Achilles injury. One ball, 1 strike.
Yo with a good fastball right in on his hands at 93 miles an hour. He went curveball for a strike on a swing and miss, and then he went in on his hands. And good location on both.
One and 2. And Howard stays alive. Fought off a fastball. That was a pretty good formula last night. Brewers were able to get Howard on a high fastball.
Yeah, leave a fastball out over the plate, and he's been hitting him hard into left field. He's been using that hole between Ramirez and Segura on that shift.
Maldonado sets up away the 1-2, and that one's upstairs. Misfired with a slider, it looked like Gallardo.
It didn't do much either. I tried to throw a changeup, one of the two, but kind of a strange looking pitch.
The changeup for Gallardo, that was at one time his best pitch coming up through the minor leagues, his first year in the big leagues. And a pitch that has escaped. There's a swing and a miss on a changeup. So Gallardo brings one back from the old days. That was an outstanding changeup to get Ryan Howard.
There it is. Had some tail way off the outside corner. Ryan Howard hadn't seen too many of those from Giovanni Gallardo. Good job. Every Friday, high school and college students can purchase select tickets for half price, courtesy of Time Warner Cable. Visit Brewers.com/students.
Well, you have to know the history behind Gallardo's changeup. What a gutsy pitch it was as Brown sends one out to Ryan Braun. Out number 2. I mean, the reason Gallardo ditched the changeup is because he kept giving up home runs on it. He was really hit hard with the changeup. Completely lost command of it. But you talk about a difference-making pitch for Gallardo. He's already a good pitcher as it is. I mean, he's a top-of-the-rotation type pitcher. But if he adds a changeup back into his arsenal, look out.
Yeah. And you know Ryan Howard's going to keep that pitch in the back of his mind next time he's up. Just another thing for a hitter to think about when they're up there at the plate against you.
Gallardo has struck out Lance Nix twice tonight. 8 punch-outs for Gallardo, 2 walks allowed. He walked Utley to start the 6th inning. And Nix just cannot dial in the curveball. He has struck out twice on that same pitch.
Can't lay off of it, can't get a piece of it. Not yet. But every curveball that he's thrown to Nix has been down in the dirt. He hasn't left one upstairs.
Strike, a fastball. They have fooled him, and it's 1-2. This is the great mental game here between pitcher and hitter. Nix has struck out twice on the curveball. Gallardo and Maldonado trying to figure out what comes next. Trying to stay ahead of him. Curveball, and he lays off. Just to see. What's he thinking that I'm thinking?
Hey, get into that hitter's head, then all of a sudden that fastball right down the middle becomes a good pitch.
Curveball is a good one too, and Gallardo strikes out Lance Nix for the 3rd time on the curve. Number 9 for Giovanni Gallardo, picks up 2 more in the 6th. 4-1, the Brewers still lead. Brewers Wisconsin is presented by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by the new Miller Lite Punch Top Can. It's Miller time. The Brewers Community Foundation's Ultimate Auction has been a fan favorite. 13 experiences are available for bid online, including use of a suite at Miller Park for 20 guests. Mark Adanasio's 5 front row seats, and all expense Brewers Fantasy Camp at Maryville Park in Phoenix. The raffles and games will be featured each day over 2 homestands on the field level, first base side at Miller Park. For some reason, the Brian and Bill dinner in the media room has not made the promo copy, so we've had to ad lib.
Yeah,
Maybe that's why.
Yeah, you're reading that card. You could add it.
I just did.
Well done.
That's the only one that matters at this point. We would love to have dinner with you. Meredith's going to set up some tablecloths, some candlesticks. It's going to be nice. 0-2 to Gallardo as he fouls one back.
That would be a first in the press room.
A candlelight dinner with Bill Schroeder.
Violins.
That is going to be nice. Are you going to wear a bow tie?
If they'll up the ante, I'll wear a bow tie.
Gallardo strikes out. Rosenberg strikes out Yovani Gallardo to start the 6th inning.
I'm due to wear a bow tie. It's been a while. Maybe Labor Day.
How about you auction off your bow tie? You'll sign it and auction it off.
Along with the dinner? I'll wear it at the dinner.
I'll pick up the dinner. You auction the bow tie. I'll have it arranged.
You'll pick up the free dinner?
To be picked up. Yeah, Lorraine and Sharon, they'll be in there. You'll be in the presence of such celebrities as Tom Hodgecourt and Adam McCalvey. We'll even let you have dessert in the booth while you watch us do the pregame hit, the open.
You know, we're trying to get people to bid on this thing.
It's not quite as natural as it was last year. Seems a bit pathetic. For us, I mean. 3-1 to Aoki. And he draws a walk. So Nori Aoki is aboard. A 1-out walk, and that'll bring up Ricky Weeks. Now Weeks is hitless tonight. He did walk in the 4th. Brewers scored all 4 runs in the 4th inning, and all 4 runs came with 2 outs. Rosenberg from the stretch. There goes Aoki. Weeks fouls it away. Hit and run on. Weeks. A soft pop-up out to Chase Utley for the 2nd out of the inning.
Yeah, right off the end of the bat, a cue shot, and Utley able to make the adjustment and haul it in. Good thing that Aoki stopped. That would have been a double play.
And that'll bring up Ryan Braun. 2 home runs last night for Ryan Braun. Now 31 for the year. He was in a home run drought, Ryan Braun. Hadn't homered since August 1st. Went from the 1st to the 16th without a home run. But 2 last night. And you see the Powerball home run leaderboard. Corey Hart hit his 23rd last night. Ramirez number 16. Ryan Braun has hit 30 or more home runs in 5 of his 6 seasons in the big leagues. Had 25 in 2010. That was his only sub 30 home run season. He had 25. Ryan Braun and Prince Fielder, the only Brewers in franchise history to have 5 30 home run seasons.
And has an excellent shot at 40 homers this year. Well within reach.
2 outs. Aoki goes. That one's ripped. Center field, way back. And it is up and out of here. A home run for Ryan Braun, his 3rd in the last 2 games. 6-1 Milwaukee. A frozen rope off the bat of Braun.
Tremendous power for Ryan Braun. Incredible bat speed, plate coverage, the way he gets on top of the baseball, and he just hits a missile out of here to center field. I mean, getting on top of that fastball right down the middle, up around the belt. Look at the way he's really trying to get on top of that pitch and just drives it out of here to center field. Look at this.
The only question was it hit high enough to go over the fence. Well, that was some kind of power from Braun. You just marvel at what he's able to do.
Yeah.
From the day he arrived in the big leagues in 2007.
Yep, and the last time up, he had a tough time catching up to that whirly fastball. Remember, he swung through 2 of them. Got one basically the same speed from Rosenberg and knocked it out of here to center.
Well, Ryan Braun now 193 home runs. And if you look at the list, most home runs through the first 6 seasons. Braun has now passed his former teammate, Prince Fielder. And starting to chip away at some of those other legends of the game, the great home run hitters. Ramos Ramirez. 2-2 with 2 outs. That one's launched. Going to hook foul.
So Prince Fielder hit a couple of home runs tonight for the Tigers. A couple of bombs at Tiger Stadium.
Fielder and Miguel Cabrera putting up a couple of big years for the Tigers, and they're right in the pennant race. Strike called. Ramirez is down on strikes, but Ryan Braun hammers a 2-run homer. His 3rd home run in his last 2 games. All 6 runs with 2 outs for the Brewers tonight. The game summary. Ryan Howard off the glove of Nigel Morgan, plating the Phillies' only run of the ball game. Nigel Morgan then at the plate off the glove of Dominic Brown. That was a big play in this one. That opened up the floodgates. Brewers would score 4 runs in that 4th inning, including a 2 RBI single by Giovanni Gallardo. Morgan and Gallardo with the 2-out hits. They've come in pairs for the Brewers. Morgan, Gallardo, and Ryan Braun, who hit a 2-run homer just moments ago with 2 outs. And it's 6-1 as we head to the 7th inning. Kevin Franzen takes a strike. Nearly 40,000 on hand to see this one tonight. 39,163 the official attendance. Yeah, they've had a lot to cheer about so far.
Another very good pitching performance by Giovanni Gallardo. So far, 6 innings, only 1 run.
His pitch count is at 104. And you figure this to be his last inning, hoping to get through this 7th. Gallardo has won his last 3 starts, and he's pitched at least 7 innings in all 3. Went 7 2/3 his last time out in Houston. That was his longest outing of the year. Bouncing ball to Segura. 1 away. Franzen retired.
Getting more confident by the day, isn't he? He just looks very smooth out there in the field. Talking about Segura. Takes the crow hops and has always got a good follow through towards first base on his throws. Fundamentally sound for a guy that really hasn't played a whole lot of shortstop.
Probably the best compliment you can give a rookie, a young player, is to say that he looks like he belongs.
Right.
He acts like he belongs. Certainly is playing like he's been here. Never played above Double-A until his call up by the Angels. He played just 1 game for the Angels. Made 1 start at short, and then was traded in the Zach Greinke deal. It's going to be a fun one to watch. And Segura has spent a lot of time with Aramis Ramirez. Ramirez is taking him under his wing. He and Ricky Weeks. I asked Ricky Weeks earlier today. We were at an outing at Potawatomi, and Ricky was speaking to the employees of Potawatomi Casino. I said, what have you been able to do with Segura? How have you helped him along? He goes, well, he eats a lot, and I bought him a suit. So he's well taken care of. He's got a suit for the play.
Other than that, not much, huh?
I'm sure there's a lot he didn't offer up. I always love hearing that. You know, guys taking care of these young players and making sure they're well dressed.
Yep. Looking like a big leaguer.
Two and two, the count. Brian Schneider, the hitter. He's 1 for 2 tonight.
Another changeup by Yo. He's thrown 2 changeups to Schneider in this at bat. He's trying to work on that pitch. He's trying to get it to work for him. He struck out Ryan Howard on a changeup.
Well, wouldn't that be something if he could bring the changeup back? Bouncer to Weeks. 2 outs.
Hey, join us for a special broadcast on August 31st as we bring you coverage of the statue dedication for Bob Uecker outside of Miller Park. And it's set to be a special event. Bob Uecker, a Milwaukee sports treasure, airs Friday, August 31st, starting at 1:30. The Uke.
Yeah, that's going to be great.
Yeah, it is.
Bob Costas has agreed to MC the event. There will be a who's who at that event. So.
Luke says it's a pretty good likeness. It really is. You know, he had nothing. He would have nothing left. So something that really looked like him.
He asked him to use. Remember the picture in Sports Illustrated a few years back? That's what he hoped they used, but I think they went with a different.
At the pool?
Yeah, when he was at the pool.
Yeah, he was happy about that one.
That was a memorable one. But I think they went with another pose.
Right.
Hector Luna pinch hitting. Luna has just one hit as a pinch hitter this year, but it was a meaningful one. He hit a grand slam in a pinch hitting role this season. He's 1 for 11. There's a strike, 1-2 the count. Look out up there. Count stays at 1-2. Luna's grand slam came in May against the Cubs. That was at Wrigley Field, and that was his very first at bat as a Philly. Gallardo's got him down, a ball and 2 strikes. Didn't bite. Most likely Gallardo's last inning, trying to make it his last hitter. The 2-2 and a bouncer over to Hart. Hits the lip. Gallardo's there. 1-2-3 inning for Yovani Gallardo. Very impressive tonight. 7 strong against the Phillies.
Time to pay off our social media with Sophia Minnaert. We had a fun one with Mike Fiers' walk-up music.
Craig, after 19 at-bats, Mike Fiers is still looking for his first major league hit, so we put his at-bat music into the hands of the fans tonight with our Twitter question, what song should Mike Fiers change his at-bat music to and why, using the hashtag #FiersFirstHit. Now, Sam said, The Showstopper by Toby Mac. Mike has done nothing but stop the show for opposing batters. Mac said, Real American, Hulk Hogan's theme music. Once he is in a state of Hulkmania, he won't be stopped. Robbie said, he's a bulldog, so Bulls on Parade by Rage Against the Machine. And John went with the popular choice, saying, Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash. The name speaks for itself. Now, BA and Rock, we're going to talk with Mike after the game. We'll get his pick, and fans will have to tune in to tomorrow's start versus Cole Hamels to see what song Mike Fiers goes with to get that first hit.
Oh, I can feel the drama building, the excitement.
The mic, we're going to have to lay out for that, Rob.
It's not often that you look forward to a pitcher going up there to hit.
I know, at bat music. And he gets to do it against Cole Hamels. Remind me to look forward to that tomorrow. That's going to be good.
I will.
I don't want to get too chatty. I hear what the results are going to be. Corey Hart strikes out. And the first out of this 7th inning. New Philadelphia pitcher Raul Valdez.
Yeah, there's 3 left-handers down in that bullpen for the Philadelphia Phillies. Has 17 strikeouts in 13 innings pitched. That's over his last 10 games. So he's got good stuff. Normally comes in against some lefties, but Phillies are looking for him to pick up an entire inning.
I'm guessing at-bat music wasn't around in your day.
Now Frank Charles just played whatever he wanted to. When I came up, it was the Peanuts music. Not exactly intimidating music for a guy to come to the plate, right?
Oh, that's great. Maldonado with a base hit just over the outstretched Jimmy Ralph.
You understand why, though. Schroeder, the piano player.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not as bad as you thought, is it?
Here's Carlos Gomez. Let's listen to his at-bat music.
Hitting for the center
So
fielder,
Gomez,
Andrew Morgan,
if I'm not mistaken, that's the song
Carlos Gomez.
for Intentional Talk on MLB Network. So Gomez must be a bit. Wait a minute. That may be it. There you go, Rob. That got me fired up. Kanye West. That's better than the Peanuts theme song. Just a little bit.
But again, we weren't able to pick. It's just the way it was.
It was all theme related. Did you hear about the organ player in the minor leagues who got ejected from a game?
Yes, I did.
For playing Three Blind Mice after a missed call.
Yep, umpires, yep.
Umpire ejected the organ player. As Gomez sends this one out. Center field, Lance Nix for the out. 2 outs. Maldonado had to scurry back. There's Gene Segura at the plate, presented by Wendy's. Got a single in the 3rd inning. Now I'm paying attention to everybody's walk-up music. Kind of fascinated by the whole notion. That's something you were aware of when you were walking to the plate. Do you acknowledge that? Peanuts music?
Not like a tip of the cap or something? I mean, how can you not notice when you walk up there you got the Peanuts music playing? I mean,
that's great.
Frank Charles, legendary, organist at County Stadium. Great guy.
No, that's a big day for Fires tomorrow. His walk-up music, and hopefully he'll get 4 chances to hear it, which will mean he's pitching a pretty good game. 4 at-bats. Two balls and a strike. Segura breaks his bat. Utley on a couple of hops. And close play. Segura is out. The inning is over. And we head to the 8th inning. 6-1 Milwaukee.
For Game 3 in the series. We can expect partly cloudy skies there at Miller Park, and it will be cooler. 67 degrees for the first pitch with winds out of the south around 5 to 10 miles per hour.
And our Miller Lite What's on Tap. Brewers Phillies tomorrow. Mike Fiers against Cole Hamels. Saturday night baseball at Miller Park. Sunday it's Randy Wolf against Kyle Kendrick on the air at 12:30 day game Sunday, and then the Cubs are here Monday. Brewers tighten up defensively. Carlos Gomez in center field. Gallardo is out. 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run allowed. Rocky strikes out 9 tonight. He was terrific.
Yeah, outstanding work. He did not allow a base hit after the 4th inning. You remember that 4th for Yo was 3 consecutive singles, and he was able to get 3 outs. The only base runner now after the 4th, and Utley walk. That's how good he was tonight.
Gallardo has a chance to win his 3rd consecutive game. The numbers on Rodriguez. K-Rod's coming off a good performance his last time out and hoping to build on that. Pitching in a 6-1 Milwaukee lead, 8th inning. Top of the order coming up. Jimmy Rollins will lead off, and there's strike 1.
And Rodriguez able to throw strikes with all of his pitches in that last outing against the Rockies on Wednesday. Tossed a scoreless 7th inning.
Strike 2 to Rollins. Rollins tonight is 0 for 3. He was a strikeout victim. One of the 9 for Gallardo. Hit hard left field. Braun is there, and Rollins is retired. Our text question tonight, courtesy of Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin. Henry in Milwaukee asks, how does a hitter prepare for facing a starting pitcher different from facing a relief pitcher? I guess there's plenty of time to do your homework on a starting pitcher. There's a lot of discussion about a starting pitcher, video scouting. You talk to your hitting coach, and then as the relievers come in.
You know, if you know a reliever, you've seen him before, you pretty much know what he has and what he tries to do to you, whether he's trying to get you out with a breaking ball or trying to jam you with a fastball. If you don't know much about a reliever coming in, you know, Johnny Nairn, the hitting coach, has a book. He'll open it up and give you a bit of a verbal scouting report. In other words, this guy, such and such, has a split-fingered fastball he likes to use with 2 strikes. Throws hard with good movement, those types of things.
It's the same conversation that a hitter would get at the batting cage for a starting pitcher. As Johnny Nairn goes through his scouting report for the pitchers. Pierre, a fly ball. Braun is over there. And an easy catch. So 2 outs, 2 up, 2 down for Francisco Rodriguez.
Well, throwing strikes, getting ahead of the batters, and that time able to jam Pierre. The Brewers have had Pierre played perfectly first 2 games of this series.
Now Chase Utley. Old rivals here. Frankie Rodriguez and his years with the New York Mets and the National League East.
And no need for any review or any kind of scanner report in that dugout for Chase Utley against Francisco Rodriguez. They faced off quite a bit.
Chase Utley, lifetime against Rodriguez, a .250 hitter.
Only 4 times. It's amazing. Is that right? Is that this year? It's got to be this year.
It's this season. Yeah, 1 for 4. 2 balls and a strike. So K-Rod behind. Utley's been a tough out.
This guy just doesn't swing and pitches out of the strike zone.
He walked twice against Gallardo and had a double and a run scored in the 4th. 3-1. Utley lifts one in the air to right. Aoki is back with room. He's got it. A 3-up, 3-down inning for Francisco Rodriguez.
To the bottom of the 8th inning, we're getting ready for Brewers Live postgame coming up after the ball game, and of course a lot of attention on Giovanni Gallardo in line for his 4th straight win. Outstanding here tonight.
Oh, he certainly has been, and you know the thing about it, we are seeing shades of Giovanni from last year when he won 17 ball games. That's how he's pitching. He's pitching like a #1 guy. Had good fastball today, you know, good location. And you heard Brian and Bill talk about that changeup of his, that he's gone to it a few times. And if he gets that, that shows you his confidence that he has pitching right now.
Our Marshfield Clinic shining moment, Giovanni Gallardo, 7 strong innings. Hope to catch up with him after the ball game. Brewers Live on the way, Brian.
All right, Craig and Davey, thanks. Looking forward to Brewers Live postgame tonight. Cody Ransom will lead off for Milwaukee. He'll pinch hit for Francisco Rodriguez to start the bottom of the 8th. New pitcher is Jeremy Horst. Another left-hander out of that Philadelphia bullpen.
Yeah, good numbers for Horst. He's 1-0 with a 1.13 earned run average in 15 appearances. 18 strikeouts in 16 innings, so he's got good stuff.
Saw Liban Hernandez. Looks like he'll have the 9th inning. The numbers on Horst. It's been a search for the Phillies. Those middle relievers, late inning relievers. Got a lot of young pitchers with a lot of talent. But it's been a battle trying to get to the 9th inning. As a matter of fact, the Phillies have given up over 70 runs in the 8th inning this year. That leads the National League.
Yeah, it's not just the Brewers having a tough time finishing out games. We've talked about the Brewers have 10 walk-off losses this year. The Phillies have 10 as well. Late leads, tough to protect these days in baseball.
Two division champs from a year ago, the Phillies and the Brewers. 3-2 pitch. Ransom swings and misses. Down he goes on strikes. Well, the Brewers got 4 runs in the 4th inning. And all 4 runs came with 2 outs. As a matter of fact, all 6 runs tonight have been plated with 2 outs. Nigel Morgan, a 2 RBI triple on a ball that probably should have been caught in right center. That opened up the inning for the Brewers. They cashed it in big time. Gallardo had a 2 RBI single in that inning as well. And then Ryan Braun hit a 2-out 2-run homer to center field in the 6th inning. And it was impressive for other reasons. Last night's home run for Braun, his 2nd one, went deep into right center. There's a hopper over to Franzen, and he makes a nice play for the out. 2 outs. Braun's home run last night was majestic, the 2nd one. The one he hit tonight was just jaw-dropping. Power, line drive missile that had enough carry to get over the fence and straightaway center field.
Yeah, never did get as high as the scoreboard. A frozen rope.
I'm not sure it's possible to hit a baseball any harder than that. I mean, you think about guys who hit the ball as hard as they can, some of the great power hitters in the game. And when Braun hits one as hard as he can, like he did with that 2-run homer in the 6th, that's about as good as it gets.
Yeah. And the guy that played has hit some pretty hard balls pretty hard this year.
Yeah, he'd be one guy that could challenge him. This one hit softly, and Pierre lays out. That is a trap. The ball hit the ground, and Ricky Weeks is aboard with a hit. Good try by Juan Pierre, but he was just out of reach.
Yeah, second base umpire Mike McClinsky, he got out there as best he could. He sprinted out, and then he tried to stop. He stopped as that ball got out to Pierre, and a very good, looked like a pretty good call. There it is. There's the bounce. They got to have pretty good eyes to be able to make that call. It looked like the right call, and it was.
And a great look at it as Pierre traps the baseball. Been some news today about traps and down the line calls and replay in Major League Baseball. Commissioner Seelig announcing that there will be more replay, and there's actually a test period going on in the 2 stadiums in New York that are using replay down each line, and the trap ball, like that play right there, they'll have the technology to look at it. And that's something they're going to be trying out for the rest of the regular season, and if it works out, they're trying to work the kinks out of it right now, but if it works out, they could implement that in the postseason. And Bud Selig saying there will be more replay coming.
Not too bad. Not a fan. Interesting to see how they do incorporate it. They're going to call time. Umpires leave the field, go into the replay booth, or is it going to be some other process?
Well, those are all legitimate questions as Braun draws the walk.
Will definitely affect time of game. That's always a concern for Major League Baseball. Placing runners, those types of things.
There are very few things I disagree with you about, but more replay is one of them.
Yeah, you like that.
I like it. I think you should use the technology. Doesn't make you a bad guy that you're wrong, but it's just noteworthy.
Yeah. Pretty soon they won't even need umpires.
No, that's not true.
Well, that's the road they're going down.
I think if you have the technology, you should use it. I actually think it could save time for arguments, and players will know that the replay is there and the call that's made, and you can make an instant call. But you're right, though, baseball is not a play that ends with a whistle. It doesn't end with a trap. For example, if Ricky Weeks, if he just continues to run there, and he thinks it's an out, you know, where would you place him, especially if there were men on base? So that's certainly part of the equation.
So which side of the argument are you actually on?
Saying
you can't have it both ways.
Oh, I'm saying I agree with you in that there are challenges to it, but there are also advances in technology, especially with high definition, that you can easily point out plays, especially balls down the line that either hit the line or don't. Trap plays, the boundary calls which are in place now. Are you a fan of the boundary call?
I don't mind that.
The ability to use replay?
Right. Home runs, boundary calls, yep. Balls that are either in or out of play. I'm all for that. That's pretty black and white.
Well, I think the implementation of the boundary call replay rule has, I mean, they've done a really good job with that. They have a very good, quick system, and they're able to capture the replays, play them back from New York. Umpires have a video room down there. They can go watch it. Runners go. 3-2 pitch. Line foul. I've always been in favor of an eye in the sky umpire. A fifth umpire maybe that would sit up in a booth, have access to the replays. Not that anyone asked my opinion on it, but I could see that.
I'm hearing in the truck that you're right about all this.
That's right.
I guess you must be then.
That's right. You're getting it. Well, I sympathize with you old schoolers, man. I do. I'm not trying to replace umpires. Just trying to help them out, Rock. Swing and a miss. Ramirez strikes out. Brewers strand a pair. We head to the 9th inning. 6-1 Milwaukee. Been a good night so far for the Milwaukee Brewers. Ryan Braun has homered, his third in the last 2 games. 6-1. Gallardo was terrific. 7 strong tonight. Don't forget Brewers Live coming up. Brewers Live post game, and there'll be an instructional tonight. Bill Schroeder and Davey Nelson. I'm reading your Twitter page here, Rock.
Yeah.
At Brewers Fan Camp. It says tonight's post game instructional will be catching a line drive over the outfielder's head. Is that accurate?
That's accurate.
There's Levon Hernandez. facing Ryan Howard.
Had a couple of plays in the outfield tonight that have gone awry somewhat, and then we got an outfield instructor and Davey Nelson out there on the set. It's a nice easy walk for Davey down those stairs over to right field. Right. That's what we're going to do tonight.
And what will your role be?
I will be listening to what Davey has to say.
You'll be in an encouragement role.
I might flip up a token, ball over his head. See him track it, go get it.
Just take it easy on Davey.
Yeah. It's all in good fun. It's more or less a line drive right at an outfielder.
You did have a Twitter response at your Twitter handle, and they remind you to stretch. You and Davey need to stretch.
And who would that have been?
Because we need you tomorrow night, it said.
And who would that have been?
Reviewing the brew, it said. You do a lot of stretching before the instructional?
I do none.
What Davey and Rock lack in mobility, they have gained in knowledge and dissemination. Great teachers, both of them. Howard takes a strike. 3-2 on Ryan Howard as Hernandez tries to finish this one off. Don't need to remind Brewers fans about the series in Philadelphia and a 6-1 lead that evaporated in Philadelphia. One of the 3 7-6 wins for the Phillies. 3 straight wins for the Phillies, all of them by the same final score. It's been a very well played game tonight for the Brewers. Some timely hits. Howard over to Corey Hart. He'll take it himself. And Livan Hernandez 2 outs away from finishing this one. That's a man who just loves playing baseball.
Yes, he does. Those strikes, he barely breaks 96, 95 miles an hour. Or I should say 85, 86 miles an hour. Well, Livan would love to go to 96, wouldn't he? He throws a lot of strikes, and you can pretty much throw him every day if you need him.
Brewers picked him up from the Braves. I thought it was interesting today that Ricky Weeks was talking about leaders that the Brewers have, and even though Hernandez hasn't been here all year, he mentioned Hernandez and how well he is thought of, how good of a guy he is. He's a guy that takes care of the younger players, especially the younger Latin players, and he's seen a lot, he's done a lot. He's been in the big league 17 years. Hernandez said he'd like to pitch 3 more seasons. He'd like to get to 20 years in the big leagues. If he keeps throwing strikes, he probably will. He was the winning pitcher last night. And while Mark Rogers and Marco Estrada remain winless, Livan Hernandez is 4-1. Slower than slow. Out in front. Back is Segura. 2 outs. 63-mile-an-hour curveball from Hernandez.
Yeah, it was good break and down around the knees.
The Phillies have not had a base runner since the 6th inning. And they've had just 1 base runner since the 4th. Brewer pitching has retired 17 of 18 Phillies. Gallardo was brilliant tonight. 7 innings, 1 run. He struck out 9, and he drove in 2 runs with a single in the 4th. He struck out Lance Nix 3 times tonight. All of them on curveballs.
Had him completely confused as to what he was going to get up there at the plate. And the guy out there on the mound could do that to you as well.
That's a hot one past Corey Hart. That'll go down into the corner. And it'll be extra bases for Lance Nix, a 2-out double. And the first hit for the Phillies since Dominic Brown's infield hit in the 4th inning.
And that time Hernandez left one up in the zone. The curveball, that same pitch that Yovani Gallardo was able to get Nix on every time up. That one down and in. The ones that Gallardo were throwing were down around the shoe tops. And able to hook one right inside that right field line.
The 5th hit for the Phillies. Frankie Rodriguez worked a scoreless 8th out of the bullpen. Good to see Rodriguez start to get it together. He's had 2 real good outings in a row now. Kevin Frandsen, he's hitless tonight after a 3-hit game last night. Don't forget, tomorrow the Brewers and the Phillies for Game 3 here at Miller Park. Good pitching matchup. We'll see how Mike Fiers bounces back after his worst start as a big leaguer. He's anxious to get on the mound again. Matching up against Cole Hamels, a 13-game winner this year. Cole Hamels. Signed that long-term deal with the Phillies. Matter of fact, the Brewers were in Philadelphia when that deal was announced.
Yeah.
Last month.
A lot of speculation as to whether Hamels is going to get traded at the trading deadline, become a free agent. All that ended quickly.
Hamels among league leaders in a number of categories. He's in the top 10 in ERA. 13 wins in the top 3, top 5, I should say. 2-1 pitch. 3 balls and a strike. The pained expressions of Rick Kranitz. There's the strike.
Well, he knows it's never over till it's over. He's always coaching down in that dugout. Planning ahead.
See if Levon can take his pitching coach off the hook here. Brewers trying to make it 8 straight wins here at Miller Park. Full count, 2 outs, 9th inning. And that one's into shallow right center. Gomez cannot get there. That'll be a base hit and a run will score. Frandsen just serves one into right center field. And it's a 6-2 ball game.
Well, he hit it was like it was thrown. He wasn't throwing all that hard. He just stuck the bat out there and able to knock it into center field.
John Axford getting loose just in case. Here's Brian Schneider now. Should do it. Gomez is under it. And the Brewers win. Hernandez finishes it off. Nigel Morgan had a big hit tonight. Brewers back to 10 games under 500. Braun his 3rd home run of the series. And the Brewers make a winner out of Yovani Gallardo. Gallardo now 12-8. 7 strong innings here tonight with 9 strikeouts. Much more still to come on this one. Craig Kashawn is standing by. Brewers Live coming up. What do you have, Craig?
Well, it looked like that
T. Plush is making a bid to get on the air tonight. We may have to catch up with Nigel Morgan. Would be great to catch up with you. What a performance on the mound for him tonight as well. Brewers win their second straight against the Phillies. Brewers live on the way.